Hello and welcome back, everybody. We're concluding today's episode. Roll20 presents Tomb of Annihilation. We've just reached Mbala. Before we get started, chat helped me figure a thing out. So the correct name of Ayers Rock, the Aboriginal name is Uluru. That was the word I was looking for. Uluru, Ayers Rock. Also, in chat, somebody mentioned Mount Roraima. Roraima. So if you want to look that up, it's an awesome example of the kind of thing I'm imagining for this enormous plateau. It's like a huge cliff face with jungly stuff all over it. So there you go. For visual aid, there's a place you can go. So you are at the base of this enormous plateau upon which sits supposedly a settlement of some kind. And so now at the base of the 1,800-foot high plateau, what do you want to do? There's a path that goes zip, 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 all the way up eventually to the top. Or I guess you could scale it, but that's a lot of work. What do you want to do?
I think going up the path is fine.
Roraima is incredibly cool looking, can I just say?
Yeah, it totally is.
Dang.
Am I correct in seeing that it looks like that was what inspired that's like where they go in up?
I think it might be. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah, some of the pictures look like up. That's so cool. Okay.
So are we going there?
You can. Yeah, you can climb up if you want to. It'll take time. You won't have to make any rolls. Like it's a path, but
yeah, I was gonna say, is there anything to indicate that people are not wanted up that path? Like, I don't know, skulls or
I don't think so. Not that you can see at the base.
okay. Then sure, the path.
Okay. So Artis looks up at it and he's like, phew, all right. Good thing I'm not scared of heights. I'm not. And they you start to ascend. Now it's gonna take all day. So you emerge up out of the trees. You begin winding across the cliff face for several miles. The path is about 5 feet wide. Occasionally you have to stop to move, boulders or cut away at some roots that are left over from dead plants that have grown out here. But the whole thing takes hours. It's gonna take all afternoon to get up here. But as you climb higher and higher above the tree line, I need everybody to make a perception check.
All right.
Let's get a perception check on here.
Wow. I get a 12 and a 12. 12.
Okay. So Ishi, your perception roll is high enough that you actually spot something in addition. But everyone sees something that I would like to. I think I have a handout that maybe I can show you. Let me take a look. Let's see here. Player handout. Here it is. Okay, so everybody in the audience can see this already. Players, have a look at the heart of Uptau. So you should all be able to see that now.
Wait, Uptau. I know that guy.
So you don't know the name of it, but you see it. I will describe it to
I
you.
know that guy.
So if you look at your map, you can see hanging in the air over the jungle, some distance, hanging over the canopy of the jungle, floating as if by magic. You can see it. It's down here. It's this little X down there across the Aldani Basin. And I think you can actually see the basin. There's like an area where the trees kind of like come around. You can't see into the basin because there's mist coming up from it. But across there and then all the way down there, you can see this huge heart-shaped block of stone with like a tree kind of grown out of it, a long dead tree grown out of it, just hanging, turning very, very slowly above the jungle.
This is like way in the distance.
It is from you 110 miles.
You can see 110 miles from the top of this thing?
As you get up to the top, yep.
Dang.
Yeah. So it is called the Heart of Uptau.
Cool.
And you can see it. And then Ishi, you get an additional bonus. My Ishi.
Is it a dragon?
Yeah, you see the dragon. No, you don't see a dragon. Ishi, for you, I don't have a handout for this one, but straight to the south, and probably you look because you're like, hey, there's a dragon in that direction. about 150 miles that way, just barely, you can make out a what looks like, and it maybe boggles you a little. You make out what looks like a shipwreck, but on top of the jungle. So there is a boat, and it's broken in half, and it looks like it crashed on top of the trees. So it's like tipped over on its side, and it's broken, and there's like tangle and trash around it. And there might be more. You can see the area of the trees are kind of like messed up too. But yeah, you can see a boat that is like look like it crashed in the jungle. You like just barely make it out from here.
All right. Let me add to our quest log.
I want to go on the sky island. I want to go in it. I can see a cave. There's treasure in it.
Yeah, I mean, yep.
Sorry, how do you spell Ubtao?
UBTAO.
UBTAO.
Yeah, Ubtao.
Got the O wrong. Yeah. And then shipwreck on land. So there's 2 X's for those. So I added them.
Mm-hmm.
Hey guys, there's a boat over there.
A boat?
Yeah, right over there.
No, don't tell Octurus about it. He'll freak out.
Are you talking about? And I look over to like where the bay is, probably.
Yeah.
Like I see the faint
Towards the
glimmer of water. I'm like, there's. I don't see anything.
No, like on the land over there, and the trees.
You have very good eyes, Ishi, but I cannot see whatever it is you are seeing. Are you talking about that floating rock? It's not a boat.
I know that's not a boat. Never mind. Little Fox, you see the boat, right? Over there.
And she's like hacking at some root with a hammer.
Hacking with a hammer?
Yeah, you can cut things with a hammer if you hit them hard enough.
You could try, certainly.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so that's a thing that you spot as you climb the long path up to Umbala. And when you reach the top, finally, all sweaty and exhausted, and the day is sort of starting to fade behind you, I will read you the description of what you see. So you, about 100.
Not a bunch of zombies.
About 100 feet below the lip of the plateau, the path that you're on veers into a cleft in the stone face. So it doesn't go up and then over. It goes up and then into, like, there's a little cleft, and it kind of like goes up into the thing. And there are steps cut into the crevice here. So you're actually walking up these steps. And in the walls, there are carvings of like dinosaurs fighting, flying lizards and erupting volcanoes. They're all carved in like shallow relief into the walls. And so you see this as you walk through this kind of entrance cleft up to the area. And when you emerge, the stone steps emerge onto the top of the plateau beneath a once grand but now decrepit wooden gateway. The gates that sealed this entrance are rotted away. Only their rusted iron hinges and reinforcing bands remain. In their place are heaps of human skulls. Picked clean of all flesh, bleached white by the sun, they grin up at you from the roadway and down from atop towering mounds.
And this is like where these steps lead to?
Yeah, the steps lead up to an ancient gate whose doors have like rotted away, but the iron is still there, and there's just skulls everywhere.
I don't think that they would want to trade with us.
And Artis is just peering at the piles. He's like, "That's a lot of skulls."
Also, Adam, can I ask a question?
You may.
Some map revealing.
Please.
If we're able to see super far and we have a good vantage, can we get like a little bit of a slice of this exposed?
Yeah. I mean, it's mostly jungle, but that totally makes sense. Yeah, you get a good viewpoint. Here, let's clear a few of these.
Yeah, because you said we could see till Aldani at the very least.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't mean you get like a clear shot of like everything, but I can definitely...
At least the stuff that's nearby, I feel like we might get a good sense of.
Sure.
It would also be cool to see what Umbala actually looks like on the map, Oops. So, yeah. So that's cool.
Deleted the Aldani Basin. Yeah. So you can see the edge of the basin from where you are.
Oh, water.
And yeah, and there's like a mist rising from it. But that's all that way.
Right, we're not going that way.
What's in the other direction is skulls, piles of skulls.
I don't know what you're also worried about. Just a bunch of skulls. You'll
Well-
leave them behind when you die.
The last 2 times we came upon skulls, it generally meant that people did not want us there, or that the place we were at had been repeatedly attacked by zombies. So,
And artist shakes his head and he says, "Oh,
or not zombies, the undead, I think.
Yeah, he says, "Oh, this isn't the work of the zombies. I mean, zombies don't tend to pile them up in neat little pyramids like this." I got a bad feeling about this.
Perhaps we should just go.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Is this a ruin yet?
I mean, you can't see the rest of it. There's a stone kind of like wall around the outside, and then something beyond, and the ruined ancient door in front of you. And there's just these piles of skulls outside the walls.
Well, now that we've climbed all the way up, it would certainly be a shame to not at least check past the gate. I'm sure we can be careful, make sure we don't walk into anything without knowing what's going to happen on the other side.
What
Cool.
gate? You mean this giant pile of skulls? You want us to dig through this very carefully placed pile of skulls?
Hey, wait.
Ooh,
Hey,
what's past the-
hang on. We're supposed to investigate death curse stuff, right? This looks like a lot of death. There's probably some stuff back there.
That's a very good point.
So there's no gate left. It's just the metal portions of what used to be a gate
Yeah, it's
and
like
a bunch of skulls.
Yeah, there's a wall, and then in front of you is the entrance gate, but most of it has like rotted away, and only the sort of metal parts kind of hang out. And then skulls have been placed like on top of the gate and in piles down below.
There is a way through though. Like
You could
it's
just
not
walk. Yeah,
a
you could just
wall of
push the gate
skulls, yeah.
open. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought that instead of a gate,
So it's not like a
no,
wall of
skulls.
skulls. I would have
Yeah.
used if I had any excuse to use the phrase "wall of skulls." I would have. But in
Okay,
this
sorry,
case,
I was-
no, merely piles around.
I thought
a
that
gate.
instead of gate, skulls.
Yes.
Okay, never mind. Then we could totally go in.
Let's take a look.
Okay.
Just keep your eyes open for
I don't, and I'm, yeah. They're mumbling under my breath in primordial to Istitia.
Okay.
Artists, take notes. This could be a good story.
Artist just holding one of the skulls and looking at it, and he turns the
Don't.
skull to you, and he's just like, I ain't got nobody. And he looks at you, he's like, too soon? Sorry. And he puts the skull down, like, just wipes his hand.
Arcturus laughs like he's never heard that joke before.
I don't get it.
he's holding the skull,
Yeah.
and I kind of quietly under my breath, like do a little hand gesture, and then I make it talk back to him and say, "Hey, I got a bone to pick with you."
Yeah, so when you do that, he's like, ah, shit, and drops it, and it like tumbles down off the pile. And he's like, hey, I'm gonna have a heart attack. All right, creepy skull city, let's do it. So the group of you, we get one of those like pan out shots as you walk into the city, and inside you see what looks like at one point was a great settlement, right? There were walls around it, like the seat of a small kingdom, is what the game describes it as. Hundreds of structures made out of wood and thatch that have now long crumbled into compost heaps, right? Demolished by rain and wind. They've been up here a long time. A few stone foundations and overgrown ramps poke up through the debris, indicating to you, like you can tell right away, the anthropologist of the group, you can tell that this was a significant part of the culture it belonged to, if not like a small city-state. This would be a great place if you get access to water. This would be a great place to defend, right? This might have been a military encampment or something. But as we pan out, and a thing that is, sorry, what's that? So as we pan out, something that becomes clear to you, instead of being like we search the village or whatever, you can see as the shot pans out, the only structure that lies intact is a lone hut about 1,000 yards southwest of where you stand, at the edge of a field of rubble and boulders. The house appears to be made of thatch and like animal hides. But unlike all of the other stuff around here, it's still standing. Everything else is a ruin.
Interesting. Well, I'm sure everybody else is more interested in the hut, but I am more interested in exactly what was here before.
When you enter a ruin or dungeon, you can correctly ascertain its original purpose and determine its builders. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So it's a human settlement. It's Chulton of some age, but it looks like it was lived in until like relatively recently. Like with many of these sort of Chulton jungle like settlements, it's cut off from the rest of the world. It's not directly on a river and quite set apart. So it's no wonder that none of the Flaming Fist or the Omnian like merchants that came here ever came across it. But you can tell that, it's like essentially like a little standalone city state. There were probably, more than 1,000 people that lived here at its peak, all of whom are gone. Yeah.
And literally every building is like down to the foundation, nothing taller than like 2 feet, except this one hut.
Yeah,
thing.
it's not that they've been like flattened or ruined. There's no cataclysm. It's
just all like fell over.
They're thatch and wood, right? And rain and jungle weather and stuff knocked them over. No one was picking them back up when they fell down.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if whoever's still here knows what happens to the rest of everyone. Should we go and find out?
This place unsettles me.
I'm surprised you're no more curious, honestly.
I like people who are still alive.
Like, shrug, like,
I guess we could take a look. No harm in looking. Hello?
So you want to make your way over to it?
Hello?
Yep.
Okay.
Is there anyone home?
So as you approach, you realize, or you learn, that the hut appears to be made out of the rib cage of some immense reptile, and then the animal skins have been stretched over it with like a thatched roof. Yeah, it's like a dinosaur, like a diplodocus like rib cage or whatever. And animal skulls, wind chimes, and totems of feathers and shells rattle in the breeze, and smoke drifts from the roof of the hut.
Huh.
Someone's definitely home. The fire's still going.
Yo, Adam.
Yo, what?
Remember how I can smell magic?
Yes.
Yeah, I wanna detect magic.
Okay. All right. What's the range on it? Like 30 feet?
It's as per the usual for detect magic, which I don't have.
Okay, I'll look it up.
But I believe
okay.
I want to say it's either 30 or 60, but I can't remember which, and the difference is pretty
You cast
significant.
Detect Malik. He is standing to your left.
It's 30 feet.
Yeah, it's within 30 feet.
Detect Malik.
I have Detect Malik. There he is. It lasts 10 minutes and is blocked by stone, metal, lead, dirt, and wood. Yeah, you got to get within 30 feet.
Dino bones and
right.
skins. So
it does actually say it penetrates most materials. So yes.
Yeah. So as Little Fox is approaching, she's like sniffing the air and like looking around. She's on alert and is suspicious. This is some 3 ladies in the river.
Which is great
territory.
Because I think as you approach, the door to the hut opens, and not open like, haha, I see you, but just opens like someone going about their business. And you see a creature.
Luke Skywalker. Master Luke Skywalker.
I was gonna make that joke. I was trying to
it's a little green thing that waddles out and speaks in weird grammar.
You give him his +5 Holy Avenger. So you see the door open, it batters open, and shuffling out, you see a strange creature hunched over in an animal-like posture. You realize, however, that it's a human woman, impossibly old, back bent by arthritis, eyes blinded by cataracts. Her dark face and bald head are outlined with streaks of yellow clay, suggesting the shape of a skull, or perhaps it's merely her shriveled flesh creating that illusion. And so she comes out, and you see her walk, like kind of waddle over to a little like garden under one of the windows. And she hunches over and starts like digging through the dirt. She doesn't seem to have noticed you or is ignoring you.
How close are we? Are we within 30 feet?
Not yet.
Okay. You let me know.
I will.
As we
Oddly
approach.
familiar.
Perhaps she's related to the artist.
Artist looks at you and is like, come on. Do we all look the same to you?
Kinda.
You're the oldest human I've ever met, and she appears to be probably your match.
Well, why don't you go talk to Grandma? I'm sure she
Sure.
loves whatever
Okay.
you are.
Last time they talked to grandma, I had to shoot it with a crossbow.
Keep it down,
Stay-
Peck.
Stop. I'll do it. I'll talk to her.
I'm
And I woke up. Walk.
Okay.
Yeah, Little Fox is like up ahead.
I load my crossbow.
Okay, so as you get closer, because Little Fox, you're gonna go up with Malik.
Yeah, I want to get within 30 feet of this lady and smell her.
Okay. So you do detect magic. She has an aura of necromantic magic about her. Yeah, I think that's
Like a. Is this like a bad smell? You know,
It's just
it's just
necromancy.
necromancy. Yeah, I mean cure wounds. The spell that's a necromancy
that's
spell.
necromancy too, right? So,
It's an invocation spell.
But so there's a healing spell that's necromancy. There totally is.
I
Yeah,
mean,
vampiric touch.
Anyway, it's neutral. It's death. It's death magic.
yeah, okay.
Magic is not inherently good or evil. It's what you do with the magic.
Yeah, and so Little Fox, she understands this. I'm just being like, yo, is this like some bad shit, or it's like, yeah, there's like a miasma of whatever, That's all I want to know.
Yeah.
Yes, you didn't detect good or evil.
I mean,
you
I would
just-
never tell you if it smells like. I can tell you what it smells. It smells like death, like the school of death. But
Yeah,
yeah.
and that's as much as I get to know.
No,
I
also, yeah,
understand.
revivify, raise dead. That's what I was thinking. It's like all the resurrect spells are. Yeah.
So I guess when we get close, I look at you because we did this multiple times before.
Yeah, and so she does. You see her like sniffing the air, and she just kind of like narrows her eyes and says, "Magic," and that's it. Like she doesn't qualify it. It's not helpful.
And
It's just, yeah, there's magic here.
You see her now that you're closer. You see her. She's again either ignoring you or can't see you. And you see her picking like roots out of this little like garden that she has and putting them in her like apron.
It's like mandrake roots or something.
Yeah, maybe.
So Malik maybe walks a little closer and excuse me.
And she turns and blindly kind of like looks out. Who's there?
Nobody who means you any harm. We simply climbed up here to see what was here. And
And she reaches out and is like, "Come over here, boy."
yeah, okay. I go closer.
Okay. So you get up close to her and she puts her hand on your face, and her like ancient wrinkled skin, you can feel it like she's like touching your face. And she chuckles and she's like, "Ooh, handsome boy. What are you and your friends doing here in Umbala?"
I turn to Artist Simber standing next to me and I go, last time this happened, I had to shoot it with a crossbow. I'm ready this
And
time.
he's like, "Last time this happened, what, you let weird old ladies touch your face a lot of times? Oh, God, this is going to go badly. I can just feel it. We're all going to get killed."
Quiet.
Well,
I'm aiming.
actually, we weren't entirely sure. We're exploring.
She shakes her bald head and says, "Oh, you won't find anything but tragedy here. Everybody gone. Leave old Nani Poo-Poo alone. Mbala abandoned. She like shakes her head like, oh, it's so sad, so sad.
And how is it exactly you're surviving up here? There's nothing around for miles.
She says, terrible creature, come, eat all the villagers, but not old Nanny. Too dry, my bones, I think. Not enough flesh for hungry monsters.
What kind of creature? Do you know? Could you?
She says, only heard them. Loud shrieks, terrible, came from the sky, grabbed up villagers, ate them whole.
Does this thinking back on my like analysis of the ruins, are there anything or any clues that might back up this being like attacked by dragon breath at some point, big claws?
Make an investigation check.
I mean, how far do you think one of those big flying pterodactyl things could go in a day? Because we're only 140 miles from Firefinger.
Yeah, you don't know. You didn't see. Like it's hard to tell.
Well, it's certainly commendable that you've kept up here by yourself for so long.
She says, when you are as old as I am, you'll learn a trick or two. Say the right prayers to old Grandfather Bones. He leaves you alone. Death looks the other way. You know the right things to whisper.
So was it you who placed the skulls by the gate?
She winks one like custard-looking eye at you. She like has no teeth and like she's like ancient. She says, you and your friend should come inside. Nanny's making dinner.
Well, we originally came up here to trade, so I suppose we shouldn't turn down such a kind offer.
Last time we were offered food, you just murdered them straight away.
I did no such thing.
Oh, sorry, that was Elf.
So she nods and she says, old Nanny's just going to check the traps. Go on inside. And she looks past you and waves to everybody else like, don't be scared, children. Come.
All right. Yeah, like I gestured for everybody as well. And like shrug up my hands. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, and she shuffles around back.
Fine.
I totally want to like draw a sketch for her little like cabin in my little notebook.
Yeah, you can. Totally.
Yeah.
I really like that I'm like Ishi is more terrified of this old woman than she was of the dragon.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna follow this old lady around, by the way.
Okay. Are you trying to do so stealthily?
No.
Okay.
I'm just like, she's like, I'm gonna go check the traps. So I just like walk with her.
Okay. All right.
Human traps.
So you go around the back, and she has some little like snares like laid out. And she goes over to one and it's hanging from the back. It's a little like snapping like snare, and there's a brightly colored like a green parrot that's got its foot caught in it, and it's like flapping its wings. And she just reaches up and twists its neck, like pulls it out from the thing and puts it in her robe. And she goes around and picks up some lizards from some of the traps, and same thing, just breaks her neck, throws them in a little pile. And just shuffles from one trap to the other, getting meat out of each one. And doesn't really like acknowledge you or say anything to you.
Yeah, I don't have any particular agenda in mind. I'm just keeping an eye on this lady.
So for the rest of you, you go inside. Yeah, Nanny's got a little cauldron bubbling. There's spices like drying over the hearth. There's a little bed. There's a big like stone like table in the middle of the room. Not really any seats around it. Big stone table in the middle of the room. And bones, just bones hanging from the ceiling. All like little animal bones tied together. There's a skull sitting on one of the like one of the pieces of furniture. She's got a couple of like chests or something, and there's a skull sitting on it with a candle on top that's like partly melted, and it's like warm and has a very strong smell in here, but not like a food and herbs kind of smell, not like a weird like off-putting, like maybe it's off-putting, but yeah, it smells like the herbs that are hanging from the ceiling. So you all go into her house, and then
Yeah. Wow, this is fascinating. I wonder what kind of magics she's managed to work to keep herself up here.
We came up here to trade, right? She's not gonna have anything.
Little Fox, outside you notice a grave. It's a section of the plateau's dirt that has been dug up. Someone has been buried there, and then there's like a wooden like marker, like an X-shaped like wooden marker placed near it.
Yeah, I like look at it for a minute.
Okay.
Is the old lady still nearby?
Yeah. Well, she's like on like getting the last trap. Like
Yeah. So I point at it, which I imagine she might not be able to see, but whatever. I just point at it and say, "Who's in there?"
She just shakes her head and she says, old friend."
Yeah, and like I don't know, I shrug.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm not gonna go in her house, by the way.
Can you make
I'm
a
just wait
perception check
outside.
real quick? I just want to see if you
I
notice
sure can.
any more detail with the grave.
I don't do a good job.
Yeah, it's just a pile of dirt with a thing stuck in it.
Cool. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So meanwhile, inside, do any of you want to do anything before Nani Pu'upu arrives?
I mean, I was outside drawing it.
Okay.
Yeah, I was sketching it.
So Arcturus and Little Fox are still outside, is what I'm hearing.
It's the small hut. I don't want to crowd all in there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not that small. Like you could all fit in there.
Well, yeah, but like I set myself a task.
Okay. So you're outside doing that. That's fine.
No, I'm not about to steal from her or anything.
Okay.
I'm just interested. I guess like looking around, see if I can understand maybe like checking if this is anything like any spells I've ever heard of.
You make an arcana check. Okay. No, you don't see any like material components that like leap out to you.
No, I'm not super trained in it. I'm not a wizard.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Okay. So she comes back in, shuffles back in with this like a bunch of like a couple of parrots and like a handful of little lizards. She puts them down on her little like cooking area and starts chopping them up for meat and stuff. And just like humming to herself as she does.
Would you like any help with that?
And she just waves a hand at you like, no. Just thunk, thunk, thunk. And and she prepares a meal and just like hums along as she does it. Arcturus, I guess you go back in.
Yes.
Okay. Little Fox, you're just hanging out outside.
Yeah, just like standing outside with her arms crossed, like looking in, but like she just doesn't trust people and can't.
Yeah, totally.
Like.
All right, so she makes you a kind of like a stew out of the like herbs and some vegetables, some roots that she dug up, and she pours some bowls and sets them out, and so she starts eating, and she has no teeth. She's like spoonful and like slurping it, and then she's getting some of it on her face. She keeps like wiping her face with her apron and like chuckling every time she spills, and she keeps like talking in some like Chultan dialect that you don't recognize. She keeps talking to somebody who isn't here. Like she keeps like talking over her shoulder and like and like chuckling. What do you make?
I'm not eating. I'm taking notes.
Yeah,
like,
artist is doing this thing where he'll like get the spoon and go like, and just pour the thing back in the bowl. And you're like, oh, it's great, delicious.
I eat it. Do I die?
No, it's good. It's good.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is exactly the kind of food that Ishi would just eat.
Yeah.
It's not fish. I'm not into it.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's fine. It's not like the best food you've ever had, but it's like flavorful and there are lots of herbs and spices and stuff. Yeah, it's good stuff.
I
Yeah.
probably wait until she's done eating and then probably like do the whole like I'm gonna ask you questions about like how you live.
Okay.
So yeah, I would ask her like what is it that you do every day up here alone?
She says, check the snares, grow herbs, grow roots, make food, eat, sleep, and then again. Fix my hut, eat, grow herbs, and again and again.
Why did you stay when whatever happened outside happened?
Where would I go? Umbala is my home. Has always been. Just because everyone else died doesn't mean I would have to leave.
How long has it been since you've had visitors?
A long time. A long time.
That language you were speaking, could you just go on in it? I would love to hear more.
She shakes her head and like taps her ear, and she says, no, that is a song only for Grandfather Bones, not for you.
Grandfather Bone.
She gestures like around as if that answers your question.
Is Grandfather Bone someone? Is there? I've never heard of him.
She says, old Grandfather Bones chased me from the time I was born, just like he chased my mother and her mother. He's a naughty one. And she makes like a little like pinching your butt motion.
Quite old too, then.
She nods. Old as forever.
Oh, I know what this is. This is a tale.
You're like, ooh, I love stories.
Like recognizing like after a couple of sentences, like, oh right, this isn't a real person. Like not a human person at least.
Yeah, and you look over and you see Artis, and he's like leaned out a window and he's pouring his stew into the garden. He's just like, it's fine, I'm good, thanks.
Tell me more. Would you mind about this Grandfather Bone? What is it that Grandfather Bone does all day if he can't chase you or?
I think she just tells you like a little like folk story about how like back before time was time, the people lived forever, and people would grow old and tired and sad, but they could never die, right? And then the elders of a village got together and they made a prayer to the sky, and they said, give us rest, give us sleep, send someone who can help us. And there was a creature came forth. Right? This creature made of bones, and he taught the tribe about death, and this was like a good thing, that they were like, oh, they could have their reward, but that in exchange, that all humans would die, not just when they got old, but they could die at any time. Sometimes they would fall, things that used to never hurt humans, right? Sharp rocks, spears, fire, nothing could ever hurt humans before this, but in exchange for the gift of rest, Grandfather Bones made it so that humans could be hurt. And so this is the story that she tells you. And then she says, so now he is everywhere, waiting, watching for the time when he must snatch us from this earth.
And like the whole time I'm just like writing down in my like little journal, just like, this is fascinating.
And she nods and she says, sometimes I hear him whispering my name, come calling for Nanny, looking for me. But I think it's not my time.
Do you not want to rest?
No. No. I am not ready yet.
Is there a specific thing that you're waiting for to be ready with all the people that you know that used to live here dead, and you just going on and on every day with the traps and the garden and the...
She looks right at Artis and she says, some people, they get to cheat. Maybe Nanny Poo Poo is cheating.
You must be very good at hiding if you're staying hidden from a thing that can see you everywhere.
She says, no, Nanny Poo Poo does not hide. I flirt.
Oh.
Just like,
Okay.
So she says, but there are some tasks these old hands cannot do. Something maybe brave adventurous helps me with. And
yeah, like what?
She's like looking out a window, and she says, the creatures that killed the rest of Umbala. And she points out a window to the south, and she says, they're still here. Wings and claws. Too late for the city of Umbala, but maybe they go looking elsewhere. Maybe they eat someone you love. Maybe you go and kill them for Nanny Poo Poo. Get revenge for Umbala.
I mean, if these creatures destroyed a city of thousands, then...
Take all Grandfather Bones with you. Give him the blood he wants. Keep him off my back another day.
I thought he was everywhere.
She rolls her cataracted eyes at you like, you obviously didn't get the story.
Do you, I know you are probably not, could you give us, where exactly are these creatures? Downriver? Still in the city?
She points again and she says, no, nesting, south side of the plateau, that way, close.
Oh, like really close?
She nods. Yes.
So plateau would mean they're on top of the...
Yeah, they're like...
structure?
They're here in a
outside the city, the little city walls, but on the plateau.
Okay.
Well, I suppose after you provided such a lovely meal for us and such good hospitality, it would...
Yeah, but I'm not sure that that's enough for killing stuff.
They killed over... I mean, you saw the amount of skulls here. These creatures have destroyed an entire civilization.
Yeah, but I didn't know them.
So? We didn't know the men at Camp Vengeance, and we still stayed to help them.
Yeah, but they're still alive. Helping dead people is silly.
You heard what Nanny Poo Poo said. She said that these creatures might go and do the same to any other settlements. Just because they are satisfied now does not mean they will be satisfied forever.
Yeah, okay. I guess that's fair.
All right. Well, I'm happy to go off and do that. Just quickly. I'm sure it won't take too long. Looking over towards
So I guess because you, Arcturus, you can kind of like, you can speak smell language.
Yeah.
Dragonbait is giving off the smell of ham.
justice.
Ham. No, the smell of ham. Yeah, that's the Leroy Jenkins smell. The smell of ham indicates like worry or concern.
Hmm.
And you and artists like see each other and are like he smells. He's like, I smell it too.
And I say, I could use some air. It's rather close in here with so many people. And like motion to, step outside because. So
when you Ishi sort of finishing the conversation, Nanny Puupu says, old Nanny will find you some reward. Plenty of things scavenged from the city. I'll find something good for you.
See, that's all I was asking.
And she like pats you on the head, like, weird.
Pat, you realizes you have scales gets confused for a second.
Yeah.
Again.
What is this horrific lizard rat? Cool. Okay. So, you, Arcturus, you go outside. And just to like, how about can we elide this for next time? The like, what are we gonna do with the nanny poo poo situation?
Yeah.
Because I just realized I like looked over the clock. I'm like, oh shit, the whole hour is just evaporated.
Yeah, we can totally do that next
like
time.
an illusory bush. So yeah, we'll put a pin in it there. I gotta say, in a campaign of like many excellent episodes, I think this might have been my favorite one so far. This was so fun. I'm having such a great time with this game. So thank you, my beloved cast. Why don't we let the lovely people in our D&D audience know where, if they're interested, they can find you, because all of these people do like other cool stuff besides play D&D for your entertainment. Distracted Elf, our Ishi Snaggletooth, where can people find you on the internet?
My dear friends of the internet, you may find me at twitch.tv/distractedelf or on Twitter at distractedelf, where I have equally as many koboldy things to do as I do elf things.
And that's not my real voice. Please, dear God, don't believe that I sound like that. Yeah, there you go. Those are my things.
Cool. Thanks, Elf. Arcturus, Priest of the Deeps, and surprise diplomat.
Definitely.
Blue Jay, why don't you tell folks where you're at?
You can find me being equally awkward and diplomatic on twitch.tv/bluejay or on Twitter at bluejay_712. You can actually find me not too long after this episode. I'm going to get some dinner and then I'm going to make a planner because I like doing weird shit on the internet.
Excellent. A little arts and crafts coming up.
Yeah.
Dave, who is definitely a human, player of Malik the Sorcerer, where can people find you?
Oh, they can find me at Dave_the_human on Twitter. And also, I owe you a design stream, which I didn't have time for today. So that might be sometime over the weekend. And that's on Twitch at Dave_human. We're doing a fresh class for 5e Summoner.
Excellent.
So if you're interested in that, check that out.
Cool, thank you. And last but not least, the strong and silent type. It's Andrew as Lil Fox. What are you up to?
Oh gosh. So I just put out the like beta version of my game, Girl by Moonlight, which is a magical girl. It's like a tragic magical girl.
Oh, tragical girl. That's my favorite kind of anime.
Yeah, so if you're into that, you should check that out. It's pinned to my Twitter, which is @commutingcrow. You can watch me stream like making it and doing other stuff on twitch.tv/actualfactual. And since the cat is out of the bag on this thing I'm doing as of yesterday, so on the 25th of January, I'm going to be starting a bi-weekly or fortnightly stream of my game on actual play, which I'm very excited about.
Oh, dope. I was hoping that y'all would be able to hook up and do something. That's really cool.
So yeah, me, Sean Nittner, Strosh, Asimovic, and Andy are all going to play Girl by Moonlight. It's going to be cool.
Nice. So that's on twitch.tv/actualplay.
That's right.
Dope.
January 25th, the shameless plug begins.
Excellent. I'm excited about that. Cool. Well, I am the game master in residence for Roll20. My name's Adam Coble. You can find me on Twitter at Skinny Ghost or twitch.tv/Adam Coble, where I stream all kinds of stuff, role-playing games, tabletop, RPGs. You can also find me hosting the other off-stream stuff that I do. You can find this cast playing Burning Wheel on Thursdays, but we'll be back for more D&D next week. And in the interim, you can find this very excellently crafted adventure as well as many others. So if you don't want to go into the jungle, but you want to like fight some giants or like take on a sad vampire, Roll20's got you covered. So definitely go roll20.net, play your own excellent game of 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons. This has been episode number 13 of Roll20 Presents Tomb of Annihilation, and it has been my absolute pleasure to play it with and for you. We'll see you next time, everybody. Bye-bye.